You know that feeling, right? The one where the demands just keep piling up: work, family, that relentless inbox, social media scrolling, maybe even trying to remember the last time you just sat down. It's the constant juggling, the feeling that time is just slipping through your fingers and you're not actually present for any of it.
It's incredibly common. That sense of being perpetually on and overwhelmed by the sheer volume and speed of modern life.
Yeah.
It feels like we're just reacting, constantly trying to catch up.
Exactly. And that feeling is what this deep dive is all about. We've taken the stack of resources you shared, pulling insights from health, psychology, and mental well-being research to understand why modern life feels so uniquely stressful, why finding presence matters, and most importantly, to unearth practical ways you can actually slow down and reclaim moments in your day.
Our mission is really to take these varied perspectives and sort of distill them into actionable knowledge, to move beyond just acknowledging the stress and figure out, well, how to navigate it with intention.
Okay, let's unpack this. What exactly is this thing we call stress?
Well, the World Health Organization gives us a clear starting point. They define stress as basically a state of worry or mental tension caused by a difficult situation.
Okay.
It's essentially our body and mind's natural response to perceived threats or demands. Think of the classic fight or flight response.
Which made perfect sense for our ancestors encountering a tiger. But tigers aren't usually the issue today, are they?
Not usually, no.
So what is it about modern life that triggers this ancient response so often?
That's where the sources offer some fascinating insights. One thing, like the Skill Collective points out, is the sheer scope of what we're juggling. It's not just work or family. It's work, family, finances, social stuff, navigating constant technology, keeping healthy personal growth. It's all competing for our limited time and energy all at once. They call it the juggler's dilemma.
It's the cumulative weight, then. All the plates we feel pressure to keep spinning.
Precisely. And a significant part of that pressure actually comes from within. Many sources highlight that stress isn't just about the external situation. It's profoundly influenced by our mindset and perception.
Okay.
As psychologists like Lazarus and Folkman highlighted, stress is rooted in how we perceive a situation's difficulty and our perceived ability to cope with it.
So the same situation could feel manageable to one person, but completely overwhelming to another, depending on how they interpret it, like their internal story about it.
Exactly. And this is often amplified by unhelpful thinking styles, constantly using shoulds. I should be doing more. I should be able to handle this easily.
Oh, I know those.
Or catastrophizing, assuming the absolute worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Or personalization, taking things personally that aren't actually about you. Our internal narrative about the demands we face is a huge stress driver.
Oh, that internal critic is relentless.
Yeah.
And the sources mention certain identities that seem particularly vulnerable to this, people who might struggle more.
Yes, they did. They highlighted patterns often seen in perfectionists, individuals experiencing imposter syndrome, or maybe people pleasers.
Right.
If your internal dialogue demands flawlessness, or constantly doubts your competence, or feels compelled to say yes just to avoid disappointing others, well, you're setting yourself up for a higher stress load before you even factor in external demands.
That makes sense.
The Skill Collective used those relatable examples. The busy young professional who says yes to everything until they burn out, the stay-at-home parent striving for unrealistic, maybe Instagram-worthy perfection, or the juggle-it-all midlifer sacrificing self-care just to keep pace. These are manifestations of that internal pressure meeting external demands.
That connection between our internal expectations and external stress load is powerful. Beyond mindset, what else contributes to this modern stress?
Well, it's also the relentless accumulation of daily hassles. While major life events like loss or illness are undeniably stressful, it's often the cumulative effect of small, everyday frustrations.
Take what?
Feeling like there's never enough time, the rising cost of living, minor conflicts at work or home, unexpected delays. These things erode our resilience over time.
The death by 1,000 paper cuts of daily life.
Precisely. And speaking of relentless, technology plays a massive role, a really massive role.
Doesn't it just?
It's designed to keep us connected, which has incredible benefits, of course, but it also means we're often never truly offline. Constant notifications, the pressure for immediate responses, the sheer volume of information hitting us.
And the gravitational pull of doom scrolling or comparing our messy reality to curated online highlight reels. That's a big one.
Absolutely. That social comparison, the fear of missing out, the constant exposure to negative news cycles, it's taxing. It really is. One source pointed out a stark statistic. The average adult spends significantly less time in person with friends than 2 decades ago.
Wow, really?
Yeah. We have more digital connections, yet many feel more isolated and lonely, which itself is a stressor.
That statistic about the decline in in-person connection is really sobering. It highlights a potential paradox of our digitally connected world, doesn't it?
It really does. And when we're navigating all this, what often happens? Our lifestyle suffers. Poor lifestyle factors aren't just a consequence of stress, they fuel it.
How so?
We reach for quick fixes like excess caffeine, sugar, maybe alcohol. We skip the exercise that helps clear our heads. We neglect sleep, healthy eating, or making time for anything genuinely restorative.
It's that classic trap. Stress makes us ditch the very habits that would help us manage the stress.
Exactly. These basic building blocks, sleep, nutrition, movement, self-care, are the foundation of stress resilience, and stress undermines them. And finally, poor coping skills come into play.
Like avoidance.
Yeah, relying on avoidance, distracting ourselves endlessly, or numbing difficult emotions with things like excessive shopping or alcohol. It might offer temporary relief, but it doesn't address the root problem and often creates new stresses down the line.
So modern stress is this complex brew of our internal perceptions, external demands, technological overload, neglecting our foundations, and sometimes just avoiding dealing with it. It feels like a trap.
It can, definitely, if we stay on that reactive treadmill.
Mm.
But this is where the sources introduce a really powerful counterpoint, the concept of presence.
Presence. Okay, tell me more about presence. It sounds simple, maybe, but how does it act as an antidote to all this stress?
Well, being present, or practicing mindfulness, is about deliberately engaging with the current moment. It's paying attention to what's happening right now, your thoughts, feelings, physical sensations, your surroundings,
Okay.
without immediately judging or trying to change them. It's not about emptying your mind. That's a common misconception. It's more about noticing where your mind is and gently guiding it back to the here and now.
What's fascinating here is that the sources don't just present presence as a nice philosophical idea. They list tangible, practical benefits, real-world stuff.
They really do. Cultivating presence directly helps reduce stress and manage anxiety because it pulls you out of rehashing past events or worrying endlessly about future ones.
Right.
It anchors you where you can actually do something, the present.
Yeah.
It enhances focus and productivity because you're less distracted by internal noise or external pings, allowing you to engage fully with the task at hand.
And how does it impact relationships? You mentioned connection earlier.
Significantly. When you're present, you're truly listening and engaging with the people in front of you, leading to deeper connection. It boosts emotional intelligence and self-awareness because you learn to observe your emotions without being immediately overwhelmed or dictated by them.
Oh, very good.
And importantly, it fosters self-appreciation and acceptance, more kindness towards yourself.
It sounds like it creates a crucial gap between stimulus and response. So instead of just reacting on autopilot, you have a moment to choose how you want to show up.
That's exactly it. It restores that sense of agency. In the middle of the storm of demands, presence is like finding the eye of the hurricane, a space of calm observation from which you can choose your next step, rather than being tossed around by the wind.
Okay, so we understand the problem of modern stress, we get that, and we see the power of presence as an antidote. But knowing that isn't the same as doing it, is it?
No, it's not.
This is where the sources really get practical, and this is where it gets really interesting. They offer a diverse toolkit of simple, actionable strategies. Things you can actually try.
And we can group these strategies to make them easier to grasp. Lots of them address our mind and thoughts, directly challenging those internal narratives we discussed earlier.
Right, the internal critic.
Yeah. Mindfulness and meditation are prominent across almost all the sources. Healthline, Mayo Clinic, Calm, CIT, Skill Collective, they all mention it.
And the consistent advice seems to be start small. Don't try to meditate for an hour right away.
Exactly. Even just a few minutes can make a difference. The simple instruction from sources like CIT is powerful. Just sit, focus on your breath, notice where you feel it most vividly.
Okay.
And when your mind inevitably wanders, because it will, that's what minds do, just gently redirect it back to the breath. That act of returning is the practice itself.
I like that. The returning is the point, not perfect stillness.
Precisely. Journaling is another powerful tool for the mind, mentioned by Healthline, Calm, Mayo Clinic, the Skill Collective.
How does that help?
It's a way to externalize those swirling thoughts and feelings, gain perspective, maybe identify patterns. You can write freely or use prompts to reflect on things. Just get it out of your head and onto paper.
And directly addressing those unhelpful thinking styles is key, isn't it? Like Skill Collective mentioned.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Actively challenging shuts, replacing catastrophic thinking with more realistic assessments, reminding yourself of strengths. Yeah, very well. Yeah, mine talks about cultivating optimism and belief in your own capacity to handle challenges. It's about intentionally shifting your internal dialogue.
Flipping the script, kind of.
Kinda, yeah. Finding purpose also grounds the mind. Very well. Mine brought this up. Having something meaningful to strive for, whether it's community involvement, a hobby, or a commitment to healthy living, gives challenges context and motivates learning from difficulty.
And flexibility helps too.
Yes, embracing change with flexibility, as very well Mine suggests, rather than resisting it, reduces a huge source of mental tension. Adapting is key.
Okay, switching gears to the body and movement strategies. Getting active is fundamental, right? Seems obvious, but crucial.
Absolutely crucial. Healthline, Mayo Clinic, Skill Collective all emphasize this. Exercise isn't just for physical health. It's a powerful stress reliever. It pumps up endorphins, provides a mental break. Even a short walk can make a difference.
And the official recommendation is?
The CDC recommends 150 minutes of moderate activity weekly, plus strength training a couple of days. But anything is better than nothing.
Right. And yoga got a specific mention.
Yes. Several sources like Healthline, Mayo Clinic, and Calm highlighted yoga for its combination of physical movement, focused breathing, and mental discipline, making it a form of embodied presence.
That makes sense.
And speaking of breathing, deep breathing exercises alone can calm the nervous system and slow your heart rate. Healthline and Calm both point this out. Simple, but effective.
I love how simple breath work is. It's always available, isn't it? The 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique you hear about. From Calm, for instance, that's another brilliant, simple way to pull yourself out of your head and into your physical senses in the present moment.
Can you quickly explain that?
Sure. You just name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you smell, and 1 thing you can taste. It's like an instant anchor back to right here, right now.
That's great. Very practical. And even just mindful movement, just tuning into the sensations of your body moving, whether you're walking, stretching, or even doing chores, is another way to connect body and presence. Calm talks about that.
Okay, let's talk about connection and boundaries. These feel like really important external factors.
Definitely. Building and nurturing a strong social network. Very well. Mind, Healthline, Mayo Clinic all stress this is a major protective factor against stress. Loved ones offer support, perspective, and honestly, just distraction sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
And don't underestimate the power of physical connection. Spending time with pets.
Oh, pets are great for stress.
They really are. Or cuddling with a partner, child, or friend. This kind of positive physical contact releases oxytocin, lowers stress hormones, and reduces blood pressure.
That's from Healthline, and mentioned in the context of the power of the pause, too.
This is where setting boundaries comes in, which feels hard sometimes, but is so vital. Learning to say no, protecting your time and energy.
It's essential. Healthline, Mayo Clinic, Skill Collective all agree. It's not selfish. It's necessary for managing your light and preventing resentment. It protects your capacity to be present and resilient.
Saying no avoids that inner conflict too, right?
Right.
Absolutely. And tied to connection is seeking support when you need it. You don't have to navigate chronic stress alone. That's a key message from Skill Collective and Mayo Clinic. Reach out.
Okay, moving into lifestyle and self-care, which circle back to those basic building blocks we talked about earlier.
Exactly. Nurturing yourself means actively scheduling time for activities you genuinely enjoy: reading, a bath, a hobby. Very well. Mind and Healthline emphasize this. These aren't luxuries. They're necessities for refueling.
And diet.
Eating a balanced diet is foundational. Healthline and Mayo Clinic point this out. Whole, unprocessed foods provide the stable energy and nutrients your brain and body need to handle stress effectively. Processed foods and too much sugar can cause energy spikes and crashes that actually worsen stress.
And sleep. Getting enough sleep is non-negotiable, isn't it?
Completely. Mayo Clinic, Skill Collective are clear on this. Those 7 to 9 hours are when your brain and body repair and consolidate. Poor sleep impacts mood, focus, and stress tolerance directly. Establishing a relaxing bedtime routine signals your body it's time to wind down.
What about screens? That came up earlier, too.
Yes, minimizing screen time and intentionally taking digital breaks is repeatedly emphasized. Healthline, Greater Good, Calm, Skill Collective all talk about it. Excessive screen use is linked to higher stress, poor sleep, and that social comparison trap.
So practical steps.
Setting boundaries around usage, turning off non-essential notifications, maybe using apps to track or limit usage. The idea from Greater Good of finding replacement practices, things you enjoy doing, instead of defaulting to your phone, like hobbies or creative pursuits, is a great reframing.
So it's not just stopping something, it's intentionally choosing something else that nourishes you instead.
Exactly. Spending time in nature is another powerful replenisher. Healthline, Calm, CIT, Skill Collective mention this. Even short bursts outdoors, or even just looking at nature images or listening to nature sounds can improve mood and physiological markers.
Get outside if you can.
Definitely. Connect with the natural world. And finally, engaging your creative side. Mayo Clinic and Calm suggests this. Listening to or playing music, painting, writing, gardening, these activities provide a mental escape, a sense of flow, and reduce tension.
That's an incredible range of tools, really covering our thoughts, our bodies, our connections, and our daily habits. Quite a toolkit.
And one more crucial piece is problem solving and taking action. Very well. Mind, Healthline, Skill Collective touch on this. Stress often feels overwhelming because we see the mountain, not the path forward.
Right.
Breaking down difficult situations or goals into smaller, manageable steps combats that feeling of helplessness and gives you a sense of control, which itself reduces stress. And avoiding procrastination also removes that looming deadline stress.
So instead of just worrying about the problem, taking even a tiny step towards a solution actually helps manage the stress itself.
Exactly. Skill Collective differentiates between problem-focused coping, which is addressing the root cause, changing the situation if you can, and emotion-focused coping, managing your feelings when the situation itself can't really be changed. You need both skills in your toolkit, depending on the stressor.
Looking at all these strategies, it feels like a lot. Is this about doing everything at once? Because that sounds stressful in itself.
Not at all. No, that's a key insight from the sources. Stress management isn't a one-time fix or a checklist to complete. It's an ongoing process. Yeah. The Skill Collective emphasizes this.
Okay, that's reassuring.
What works for you will change depending on your circumstances, and it requires practice and adaptation over time. It's a journey.
Like digital well-being, the sources noted it's a journey, and relapses happen, right? It's about setting ongoing intentions, not just a temporary detox. Greater Good mentioned that. Willpower isn't enough. It requires intentional practice.
Which brings us back to the core idea of the power of the pause, from the power of the pause source. These strategies are essentially different ways to create those pauses, mental, emotional, or physical, within the busy flow of life. It's a deliberate act, a reset that breaks the stress cycle and allows for more intentional response, better decision-making, and deeper connection. It takes practice to build this muscle, this ability to pause.
So it's not really about escaping your busy life entirely, but about learning to be present within it, finding those moments.
Precisely. It's about engaging with life from a place of more clarity and intention, even amidst the chaos.
So to kind of wrap this deep dive up, modern life is undeniably stressful, fueled by how we perceive demands, the sheer volume we juggle, the constant hum of technology, sometimes neglecting our fundamental needs, and maybe getting stuck in unproductive coping patterns.
But the power of presence offers a way out of that reactive cycle, helps you focus, connect, understand your emotions better, and choose your response.
And you have this incredible toolkit drawn from these sources, strategies for shifting your mindset, connecting with your body, building supportive connections and clear boundaries, nourishing yourself with healthy habits, and taking small actions to regain control. Lots of options.
And the journey is really about finding which of these tools resonate most with you right now, and committing to consistent, intentional practice. It won't be perfect every day, that's okay, but the cumulative effect of bringing more moments of presence into your life is profound.
This deep dive is a starting point then, a framework built on the material you shared. The next step is simply choosing one small practice to try today, maybe.
Yes. Start where you are and focus on progress, not perfection. Be kind to yourself in the process.
And here's something to really sit with, a final thought maybe. If our culture often tells us that success is measured by how busy we are, by the endless hustle and packed calendar, what if the ultimate success isn't found in the speed of the treadmill, but in the ability to find moments of stillness, connection, and genuine presence right within that very busy life? What if true accomplishment is about the quality of your experience, not just the quantity of tasks completed? Something to think about.